Hello and welcome in this stream today. Let me see if I can make it a bit better to see only this. Now is not going to happen. Anyway, sorry, you are going to see what I'm showing in that way. As you see, I'm not a professional, so I was trying to create some pictures with AI, of course, about the topic today that is kind of hard to explain because it contains information that I got by talking to my galactic family, right? It was really just a week ago or something. Is the creation about creation of everything, not creation of God, but of everything that may possibly exist in our reality, in all dimensions, in the eternity, basically. It's weird, right? I'm not sure even if I know the correct words for all of this, but the point is, I want to talk about polarities and division, because there is no polarity and no division, and we really should understand that the good and the bad, as we understand it, exists only here on our existence, on our plane, on 3D plane, on our earth. It is a human construct, and we are going to talk about the human constructs as well, because it is important. It is important to understand what the dark means in its base, why exists, how affects us and why affects us, and basically what it means for us. Right? Not talking about, probably we will touch a bit the evilness that exists, right? But we're talking about harmony and cooperation here. So let's start like that. So we know about God, right? Being all light and love, helping, taking care of us and everything, the creator, that is a pure, 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 pure light, right? And if nothing but only this that I understand during so many years of working is the balance. The light cannot exist without the dark, as the dark cannot exist without the light. This is the balance. Call it whatever you want. Yin and yang, you know that picture, right? Where the dark is inside the white and the white is inside the dark. A balance of everything. A balance in our life, balance in our eating, balance in our drinking, balance in our even love making, a balance in creation. Everything leads to that. We must be in balance. Everything exists because there is a balance between dark and light matter, even if you want. Lately, a lot of the scientists are talking that we are created out of light particles, right? You probably know that very well. If you're interested in all of this, you have to heard it already. But also, they discovered that as deeper they go on the layers that we are created from, there is nothingness, that there is the emptiness of light, that is the dark, right? So the dark is nothing different than the same, let's say, polarity, right? on the same level of existence, light and dark, and we cannot survive without it. We are created from both things. So imagine like the light on one side and the dark on the other side, and they together create one space that, yes, probably is endless, right? I cannot say anything about it because when I asked, okay, if there is that, then what is after them? What is after the dark and light? And my my galactic family was puzzled. They, for whatever reason, they never asked that question. They never thought about it. Is there anything beyond that? And I asked because of something that I saw. And I know yesterday I mentioned Darius and the astral traveling, right? But again, he was showing once a picture where all the possible worlds exist in one place. It's like our universe is a marble in a ghost shelf, right? And even he didn't ask what is after, what is beyond. Let's say that is exactly as the picture that he showed. I cannot show you that picture because all of those things with those rights and things like that, I don't want to go in trouble, right? But you can look into that in internet or YouTube. So it looks like a building, right? It looks like a building. It has shelves. It has a lot of things, right? Maybe it's just the human way how we can imagine things and the AI to create something, because the AI is not... it uses our imagination, basically. Whatever we teach it, it creates it, so it can't be exactly. But Darius was saying that is almost 90% of what he wanted to show. So it is a space with different universes, and reaching that point in astral travel, you can go and visit another universes, and it's basically endless, right? But is there something out? Nobody knows, right? And what is out of our universe, with all the dimensions, right? With all the beings that are created in our universe, we also don't know. So this is a question that probably I will not get ever the answer. Or maybe at some point in our evolution we will understand that there is nothing but is really absolutely endless, that from our human brain point of view is kind of impossible, right? Everything has an end, beginning and end. But yeah, no. So eternity is something that we hardly can comprehend. So the light is one side and the dark is on the other side, and they create a space in between them, right? And after, at some point, I don't know why, right? But all of them are highly intelligent, right? They work together. They make plans together. They make everything together. They started bursting out pieces, souls, right? But what is the difference? The difference is that the light bursted out souls and matter, and the dark bursted out only energy beings. So the dark has no matter, the dark has no soul, It is just energy, or maybe soul, okay, but not energy, and not soul in the way how we understand it, like us. It is an energy entity, still with intelligence, still with everything. It just doesn't have this construct that we created, right? Our understanding of a soul going to a body and reincarnating and evolving and everything. No, the dark energy entities, they stay like that as they are, right? And they can really be dissolved. If the soul cannot ever die and be destructed, the energy can be destructed. So basically the dark side is bursting more and more and more, because we are capable of destroying those entities, this energy, right? Before we were not able to, right? During millennia of work we are capable, and we started doing that in many different ways, many different ways. So God bursted souls and matter, right? And the dark bursted the energy, and this kept going. It's not only once that God bursted in and endless pieces of souls. No, he keep going. Is it because they are expanding? I don't know, right? Is it because we need more? I really don't know. It's not a huge amount. So the very first time it was really huge amount of souls and matter to be created, everything that you see around, and everything that you're still not capable of seeing, like all the dimensions that we don't know how many dimensions we have, and every dimension is a different kind of a layer of vastness, right? And endless from our point of view. Maybe it's not endless, right? It's just that we can't reach the end of that, or maybe it's really endless, right? So, but after time to time, he keep going. Why and how, I don't know. Is it like, again, keeping the balance? We are killing the, destroying the dark entities, and they have to become more and more, and that's why the light is bursting out souls. I have no idea. Really, this is a part that I don't know even how to ask the right questions about that. If somebody can do that, and really have get all the information in a proper way directly from source, yes, probably then we will have the answers. But I'm not that person, and I can't understand everything, of course. Neither I can think of all the questions possible to make all the dots connected, because it's kind of a too high level, right? The next point is that the both sides have the same hierarchy. So from the light side is the God, and after are the high angels, and after the archangels, and after the guardian angels, and after is us as a soul, right? And from the other side is the same structure. So is the dark, and is the higher, let's say, demons, because we don't know what else to call them, right? So we know what we are talking about. And after are archdemons, and after are just demons, and after them there are those parasites. And we are going to talk about the energy parasites not tomorrow, but after tomorrow. As I said, skipping the animal topic. because it's important to know everybody got parasites at some point in their energy system, and that's very important. The parasite is our dark side, basically. So again, we are talking about God, higher arc, just angel, and us in the middle, and the both sides are working with us and for us and on us, even if you want, right? What is the point of all of this? Only they know, right? But the hierarchy is really very important, because we need the guardian angels, right, to protect us, to lead us, to help us, working together with the spirit guides, right? And after we have the archangels that are helping again us to fight off what we should fight off. And after is the high angels that they are kind of governing everything that God itself wanted to happen, the plan that they have, right? Everything that they wanted to happen, the high angels are the ones that are looking after, trying to make it, leading the things to happen, waiting, acting in the time when it is right something to happen. If you want, you can think of them as the divine time. The divine time when something may happen for you as you want it and as it should be, something like that. And from the other side, it's the same time, same thing. How we have the parasites that are affecting us, and after the demons that also may come, and then the things become even darker for us. And after they have the archdemons that are ruling those demons, what to do, to who to go, what task they will have, right? And high demons are the ones that are looking after the ideas and things of the dark, right? What they need to achieve. But here the hardest part is to understand that the both sides are working for the same thing. To have the balance, you have to have the both. Now, because it's important to understand, right? And a lot of people at some point are like, yeah, but the evil, right? The people that are killers, the people that are molesting kids, all of those horrible things that I don't even want to think about, it's that dark, right? Is it not coming from the dark side? So they must work against the light. They must be in war. They must be enemies. No, nothing like that. This exists only here, because we are fighting the dark entities, the dark energy. We are fighting them, right? And at some point with the evolution and the different dimensions, right, this fight is nowhere to see. And this is still, in a way, hard for me to comprehend, and very often I'm arguing with my galactic family when we are talking, because I'm saying this is bad. This you can't say is not. And they're like, no, it's not bad. Yeah, but it's not good in the same time, because we are looking at the end result, right? And the end result is what we think is good or bad. Is not the idea, is not this, again, when we are not talking about the evilness, right? And every time they say, no, that's the human construct, you need to understand that you need the both, you need the polarity, you need the duality in this reality that we are existing, because without that, the construct will fall off. Falling off doesn't mean it's destroyed, it's just going on a next level. That is the point, right? So it is a, what is the word, conundrum? You need to make the balance, and in the same time making the balance, you are destroying the construct, and the construct as the human construct that we put in the division, in the duality, in the dark and bad, good and bad, dark and light, and all of those polarities that we have, right? And we are shaking from one end to another end all the time. The point is we need to make the balance, and when we make the balance, then this construct is dissolved, and when that construct is dissolved, we are going on a higher level. And basically, in a way, this is the ascension as well. This is the evolving as well. And if you look in our history, right, we are coming from a very, very, very dark ages where we were dying from everything possible around, animals, weather, and all of those things, right? After we started dying from wars and illness that we couldn't, we did not know how to even bury thousands of people that were dying during the a plague time, for example, after another wars, and a lot of manipulation, a lot of control, a lot of power and everything, to come to the moment today when we are fighting of the power, we are fighting of the control. We want to be left more, to have more freedom, right? And it will come a time when we will reach that freedom, and we will reach that balance, right? And then when we reach that balance, we are going to 5D, right? Evolving in a different dimension is nothing that never happened, right? It's nothing that never happened. It happened in different places, even in our solar system. There are a couple of planets that everything just moved there. Doesn't matter how that's possible or not. Really, I have no idea. The planet is staying here, but the habitants are on a different level. And it's not the planet itself going there, right? It's the same as with our Earth. Our Earth was created in a 5D. Absolutely new, from absolutely scratch, from the beginning, and we have to move there, and this earth to stay here, because it's earth that everybody can live on. Maybe that's why it's a school, and so many different species are coming to incarnate here, to start going back up to the light. And maybe we are repeating that process, who knows? I really have no idea. It's at some point you have absolutely free will to do whatsoever, and that's another thing that is hard to understand, right? Because when I'm asking my galactic family, I'm saying like, what, and we there never die? And they're like, nope, never. What you do? Well, the time passes differently here. Yes, okay, I know that. And again, what we do. And that comes to the next point, right? Why we went out of our homes. Why we didn't stay where we've been, the stars, the star souls. Why we decided that we should go away. Well, maybe this is the reason. So when you're at home, there is nothing too much to do. You have your duties and things like that. I know what my family is doing, right? But it's not that much. No wars, no sickness, everything is in balance. You just live, have kids, have grandkids, nobody's dying, the family connections are different. In a way that, yeah, my grandfather I accept as a grandfather, but there, uh, I don't call him grandfather, grandpa, right? I don't call him like that. I call him with his name. And yes, he's older than me, and he's more wiser than me, and he has stories to tell because he's been in many places and is extremely interesting. And at some point, maybe we together are going to go somewhere, to have some adventures, to do something new, to have some experience, right? Doesn't matter after so Google years of existing. Still, I was like, okay, is it the point to go on a higher dimension? And he was like, no, this is our home, that dimension. I was like, then the point is to go and emerge with God, as many people talk. And he was like, no, no way, this is not what God even wants. So it is weird, right? And when a lot of people are saying, oh, and I died and I went there and I came back and this was so beautiful and I didn't want to leave and everything, it's actually not going back to God. It's a different place, not even their home, because their home, it will be a different planet. Maybe they just went to the resting place in the heavens. Yeah, who knows? I mean, all of this that I'm saying is almost a theory, is nothing that we can prove. It's only what I got as information, right? And after a certain point of our existence, that 3D, everything is just my word against your word. And that's why I was saying yesterday, maybe if all of us collect in one place our truths, we will make that puzzle and we will see the real picture of everything. Unfortunately, we don't do that. Everybody is like, no, 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 my truth is my truth, and this must be the truth. There cannot be anything else. Well, I'm not like that. I'm just talking about what I know. In case this helps somebody to understand themselves better, because this is the main point here, to understand yourself, to change yourself, and to fight off the dark that it is in you, right? And by fighting it off, meaning destroying it, yes, kicking it out of you, to remember that you were created from the light. Nobody is created from the dark. The dark cannot create a matter, as we said, is not creating souls that can reincarnate, right? And that can incarnate in a bodies. But there are people that don't fight the dark when it comes. And they keep it. And it grows and becomes more stronger. So from a parasite, a low level demon, after the higher level demon, right? And when the higher level demon is already for a long time, there are a couple of outcomes. You know, a very sick person becomes very sick, becomes really mentally distorted. Becomes bad, full with hatred, and starts doing really bad things that we think are bad, right? Because they are bad. I'm not saying that we have to lose the sense of justice, right? No, the things are as they are. To kill somebody is a bad, to hurt somebody is a bad, to hurt a kid is a bad, to hurt even an animal is a bad, to hurt the earth is a bad thing and must be punished. And the punishment is coming from us. It's not coming from the divine or something, nothing like that. But if you keep doing bad things, you are punished as well, because the light inside of you, right, goes less and less and less, and that's absolutely not natural for you. And when something is not natural for you, you start rotting. As I was saying about the chakras, when there is, and the auras, when there is dark energy in your system, not necessarily means that you have parasites, right? It's just the bad experience that you're still keeping. You create that stagnant energy, the energy that doesn't move. Everything behind that energy, all the organs or body parts start struggling. They become ill. Basically, that's it, right? And as much of that bad memory you are keeping, and as much you are reliving it over and over and over again, as sick you become, as dark that energy become. And the dark side has nothing to do with that. Like, they didn't create that for you. It just experience. Maybe they've been a parasite in somebody else's energy and they created that for you, or you accepted it. Like, it doesn't matter really. The point is that you have to get rid of that. And every single person in that world, there is no person that never ever got dark parasites in their energy system. What they're looking for is greed, lust, indulgence, all of the seven sins really. This is a big open portal for them to enter your system. And don't make a mistake, right, that somebody is absolutely pure in angel. No, they are not. They became like that. But they also went through a parasite but they fought it off really very quickly by themselves, or with a strong belief and faith, or with working on themselves, or with restraint and discipline, mental and physical discipline, or with listening to other people's advice and wisdom and so on, it's not obedience though, right? So every single person in their life got that parasite. When I see a parasite coming into a very young person and being really very strong, then I get really very, very angry, because it feels like absolutely unfair. And I will give you this very simple example. A kid that is, let's say, 10 years old, goes to school and is bullied, right? Being bullied, some kids become really very kind of closed up, but some starts fighting back, and they start fighting, right? That is a good thing. They have to fight off that. But in the same time, this moment of vigilance, right, is the open door for the parasites to come, and they come. They come, they help this justice to start, right? The kid to start fighting off. And in the moment when the kid, let's say, being 11 years old, all right, fights off and becomes more stronger and more respected, and nobody can bully them, right? In this moment, if they decide that, yes, they made that justice and that's enough, and now they can just be who they want to be without anybody bullying them, right? The parasites will go. It will be cleared off. But if the kid decides that now I have the power and now I can become a bully, right, and start being like those people that bullied him, right, he becomes a new bully, those parasites stay, and the next stage comes with at least one demon inside. And again, growing up, that kid will become a young person. If the young person still keep going with the bad intentions of manipulating, of controlling, of using people, or stepping on their necks to reach what they want, the demons become more, and he becomes a bad person. Is this a choice of the dark? No, it is the choice of the person. The kid cannot choose. They react. They don't act. They just react in a different ways, right? But the parents are there and they don't stop that because they maybe have their demons, or they are weak, or they just don't pay attention. They neglect their kids. And after, when it becomes too late, right, and they start be sorry, oh, I had to do this and I had to do that, and a lot of excuses, oh, I didn't have time, I had to work and I didn't have time to look after my kids, and so on. And this is how it goes with all the bad things that are happening. And there are many different levels, right? Funny enough, people will think that the politicians are like that. They will think that the politicians are the evil, basically, right? And or overtaken by the dark side, with parasites and things like that. No, I didn't see any president that I checked in most big and powerful countries that they have something like that. I saw only one that was a minister of something, I'm not going to say, in one country that is a woman. She has parasites and demons, right? But she is using them for her own benefit. She pretty much knows that she is doing something bad, and she is still in that bully part. That's why I gave that example. She was bullied when she was young, very, very young, like 6-7 years old. This is not something that I saw in her energy. This is something that she shared. And it made perfect sense when I saw her energy system. So she was bullied and she was very poor, right, with a lot of struggles. And when they enter her system, she chose to stay with them. She's absolutely aware, and start working with them because she wants to be that. And who is the dark to say no if you want to have that experience? Who is even the God to say no if you want to have that experience? Is she struggling? Yes, she will. She is younger, like relevantly young. But after a couple of years, all of that dark energy that she is collecting, because she is keeping this childhood trauma, quote in quotes, right? Because we have so many other kids that been in the same position like her, and they didn't become that evil person like her, right? A minister. And they became good people. So she could choose that, but she didn't. So it is a choice. And we don't need to blame the dark for that. The dark is there to test us, to put us in a way that we have to choose the light. Again, everything is about the choice. And again, everything is about the free will. You have a free will to choose to be good or to be bad. And if you want to work for the harmony and balance, you will choose the light. And if you don't, you will choose the dark. And the selfishness and the indulgence to self and all of those things. And yeah, is that really simple? because yeah, after looking at that and thinking about it for quite a long time, um, I can see the logic in this, right? And you will hear me saying many times, I am grateful for my extremely bad experience in my life, because it made me what I am right now by me choosing the right side, not the bad side, right? Choosing to be better, to be light, and to honor my bad sides. Of course I have a bad sides, of course I have a flaws. There is nothing like we can't not have, right? But if they are understood, and if they are loved, and if they are put somewhere on the back, and naturally you are showing the good sides of you, then everything is nice, but you are in a harmony. And when you are in a harmony and balance, everything is in a harmony and balance. Because everything starts with you. So, that's why do not blame the dark for something and that is happening, because it is your choice. You made a choice at some point, and this is the result that you're experiencing now. That's why when we are looking at the situation now, we have to look back to see when and why we made a choice that was not good, and we let to come to that. Is it lack of action, or is too much action? Is it something that we did wrong, right? And now we are like having what we must have from our actions or lack of actions. By all means, don't think that when you are passive and you don't take any actions, you don't make a choice. You do. And even most of the times, this is the wrong choice. Because to stay out of the action doesn't mean that you're doing good. Going to war, right, instead of avoiding it, is not a good choice as well. Something in between, right, is what to know when to act and when to not, when to stay still and when to make the attack. It is a strategy. It requires a lot of thinking, right, back and in the front, to be able to kind of at least a bit predict what may happen if I do this or if I don't do this. Like a very simple thing, not saying it will be correct, not saying we are not going to make mistakes in that way. No, not saying that, but the mistake is a learning process. We are not going to school us here on earth, somebody to give us all the information and we to memorize it or try to understand it. No, the school here on earth is mistake and learning. If you don't make any mistakes, right, most likely means that you don't need to learn anything and your life is just be lived. You came maybe because to help somebody else, but nothing for yourself. So, when this happened, right, and the light bursted in souls and matter and kept bursting, a small amount, right, but keep producing new souls. You and me and everybody in a different time of bursts, right, being created, and we became who we are, that we have to be very grateful for, because if this didn't happen, we wouldn't exist. And everybody chose where to go. Some chose one dimension, another chose a different dimension, and this is our home. Our home, again, I'm repeating, is not God. He is the creator. but our home is the very first place where our soul started to exist. And to everybody was assigned an amount of angels. Some may have one, some may have 10. You know, it's the only one difference is how much that soul needs help, I believe, to go through the process that they decide to go. I believe at some point I was told that in every reincarnation you may get a different amount of guardian angels. You have your main that are given to you, doesn't matter how many they are, right? And every life you may have a different amount, but never less than the main ones. Let's say if there were 3 given to you, right? You always will have 3, but this life you may have 7, and the previous life you had only the 3 one, and before that you had 7 again, or even 13. It depending of how much help you will need with that life that you are incarnating into, because you made your decisions, your choices, what type of life to have. And if you are going to have extremely hard life because you took a lot of things that you want to clear up in once, you will have more angels and more spirit guides to help you go through all of this in that short span of time. Because for the soul, our life is like a blink of an eye. Is that short? And is indeed very short, and sometimes we really can't even make everything that we wanted to make, right? And we say like the time is not enough. Yes, it's not enough, absolutely. But what you can say, the soul is sometimes reckless and doesn't even think. Like everybody says that, and I really believe it. The soul is like, no, and this and that and this and that, and I'm happy. No, everything will be fine. And after the person comes here, becomes a person, and says like, oh my God, what I did, why I took so many things, and now I'm struggling. It's interesting. But so let's say you bursted out as a soul, right? And you chose to be born in 11th dimension as Pleiadian. And this is your home, and this is your origin. And doesn't matter how many times you're going to be born here on Earth. Doesn't matter how many years and millennia you need to live here on Earth to remember who you are and to evolve, to become like more aware of yourself so you can go home. If you finished everything that you needed to finish, because again I'm saying we decided for some reason to leave our homes, right, and to start exploring other worlds, other planets. Doesn't matter how this is happening, right? And what that really means, and are we dying or not? Because as they say, no. For example, my relative that is a starseed, his body is intact in his dimension because he is coming from a high dimension, from 11th dimension. He is Pleiadian, and there is a he as well, as in here. His body is intact there, kept alive. Is he sleeping? Is he not? I don't know. But he is having this life here, the 4th time on Earth. Before that, he came 3 times more. And in this life, when he does whatever he does and it's his time to die, he will go back to his body. He will just wake up there with all the remembering of what he did. and how it went, and what was not made, for example, because it's not said that the starseed may not create a plan for themselves as well, and he might be like, yes, I'm going to rest a bit and I'm going back because I need to do more for those people on earth. Or maybe he will be like, okay, that's enough. Like my new friend, she is a healer, that we are going to speak with her at some point. She said, no, that was enough. I don't want to go back anymore. And it was enough help. Nobody can tell her, no, you didn't do your job. Even if she didn't do everything that she did, right, here, nobody can tell her, no, you must go back. There is no must in the universe, all right? The must things are only here on that low level. After 3D, the freedom of everything is there, but we are more our souls and then this brain here, this consciousness here that we accept to be the only one thing that exists, and we cannot comprehend the thing. And I will see somebody that will say like, how some higher self will control me and some soul will tell me what to do. No, I don't want that. I dismiss that, so I don't want to accept it. I am the one in control. Again, we are talking about the surrendering for the divine, right? And who you are and the soul. And they are struggling. Yes, they may believe that they are in control, but it's just egoistic trait, right? So they've been born there, right? And this is their home. And every time when they come back, wherever they've been, they're coming back to that 11th dimension, on that planet being Pleiadian, being very strong, being very knowledgeable, being very old soul, right? But that's his home. 11th dimension doesn't make him less knowledgeable or less full with wisdom and experience and so on from somebody that is coming from a 14th dimension. Because somebody that is coming from a 14th dimension, right, may have the same amount of experience, just being born there. They chose to be born there, and the parents accepted them to be born in their family. That's simple. Yes, we are choosing our parents as a home, as we are choosing reincarnating here with who we are reincarnating. So, and this is all. So, that our original bodies are staying there, sleeping and waiting for us to come. And because the time is passing on a totally different level, right, absolutely totally different level, from my galactic family, I know that approximately 1 week here is about 10 to 15 minutes there. So basically, when I am talking every single day with them, for them is a continuous conversation with a stop of a few seconds. Is that crazy? Yes. So basically, all of that time that I am missing from my home, it passed, I don't know, something of a sort of a 3 months, 6 months, our time, something like that. So, and this was very shocking when I wanted to see where I'm coming from, and I asked for help to visit, right? And I saw my father there, and he just looked at me and he smiled on me and kept doing whatever he was doing. And I was like, does he not miss me? Like I'm missing for millennia. And the answer was like, no, it is millennia for you, but for us it's not that long time. I was like, okay. And this was the very first time that I was put in a position to understand how the non-linear time feels. And it's weird. It's really weird. Yeah. Yeah, because we are counting our minutes and seconds even, and the seasons and everything. And not that on my planet we don't have a seasons or day and night, we do, right? But it feels totally different because we don't count, because we don't die. That's all. We don't count because we don't die. And when we stop counting, right, the time loses its importance, because the bodies there that we have are immortal as well as our souls. But this is our home. This is where we are heading off. So now, to start with the what I gather for my own experience, right? Because it must be relevant for everybody else. At some point, I decided, being very young and reckless, yes, uh, that I need experience, I need adventures, I need everything. And with my brother, we started traveling. Probably I went to a different places, and he went to a different places. But anyway, at some point, we started together to be involved in the same thing. And you remember that story about Lyra and Orion war that took too long time, and it was made on a fifth dimension, I think, or sixth, not sure, but not in that dimension for sure, not in a third dimension. So, a very vicious war for whatever we were fighting. I have no idea. We were on a Lyra side. Until now, I don't really like Orion. Anyway, for whatever reason, don't have that memory, and don't want to have that memory as well. So all of this is the story told by my family there. So I'm going there with a plan ahead, and they know that plan. I don't remember it, so they know why I gone there. Don't have the questions, so don't have the answers. Leaving that, because it doesn't really matter. So we are fighting in those wars, and we are dying a couple of times, and we are coming back, and we kept fighting because we are really very even here on earth in this life, we are kind of like all for the protection, all for the justice, all for the righteousness, and if we see something that is unfair, we immediately go on guard. You're like, no, we have to fight. So but at some point we are kind of losing, right? And a lot of other souls don't come back. So we become really very small amount of people, and the war finishes at some point, I guess. Or even if it didn't finish, maybe we lost. Have no idea. If somebody has the information about the Lyra wars, why and what happened, please tell me, so I know. And this is the story of the Lemuria as well. So all the survivors from that war, Lyran, Pleiadians, Andromedans, so many different species, really. Most of those that we know nowadays, right? And we are in contact with them, and people are like, oh, I am from Andromeda, and I am this, and I am that. Is correct, absolutely correct. I am neither of those. Totally different race. We are coming here on 3D Earth. 3D Earth being amazing place for rest, for recollecting, for just being, just living, being in harmony. And I'm not sure that we wanted to make our home here, though, for those that lost their planets during the war, because we have those, a lot of planets were lost and destroyed. Those souls needed a new home. So we chose to be here on Earth, already having Earth souls incarnated, right? Of course, on a low level of existence. Uh, I'm not talking about that story and how they've been created or whatever, because I don't know it. I didn't speak about it. I only know that yes, Adam and Eve are something almost real, not exactly in the way how the Anunnaki story goes or the Bible story goes. It's something in between. But we are coming, creating Lemuria or Mu a lot later than that point. And we started living for a very long time. So being beings from a different dimension, coming here with a lot of knowledge, with a lot of light inside, right? We created a really very great society and everything, and we started sharing information with the indigenous people, right? So we started talking them, giving them stories about the war, about everything, maybe even wanting to prepare them. Pay attention, that doesn't matter, we are coming from the fifth dimension, we are coming with basically a PTSD, right? All of us with a PTSD, with a very big post-traumatic syndrome in disorder. So no wonder why we have so many myths about the big evil that is coming to get us, and we have to fight it, and we have to be afraid from it, and wars and destruction and things like that. I believe this is the reason why we have so much dark in our mythology. And after Atlantis comes, right? Atlanteans that I don't know where they are coming from. They're not my favorite. I don't know why everybody is looking for Atlantis, but nobody is looking for Lemuria, right? When the Lemuria was the spiritual land, and Atlantis was the technological land. So all the technologies, all the kind of scientific knowledge and things like that, the artificial things, right, are coming from there. But everybody is more keen to find that instead of the spiritual. Like everybody believes that, oh, I must be Atlantean, not Lemurian, because if I'm Lemurian, I'm just like a priest or something. But if I am from Atlantis, then I'm a technology god. Both have their use, and they create a balance. I don't say the spirituality should be without any technology, right? And nature-oriented life should stay without any comfortable tools to work with. No, nothing like that. I'm very much for technologies and industrialization and all of this, just in a different way, or with harmony in the nature, and that's all. And for what is used, because nowadays all the technology and everything we are using in a very bad and ugly way, again for control and manipulation and money and power and all of these things that are absolutely pointless, absolutely pointless. So whatever happens, I don't know, again, if somebody has a proper history or knowledge about it, please tell me. Something happens. I believe to be something created from the Atlantis, and that almost destroyed all the earth and made a lot of big mess. But in that point, all of us died. All of us died. Atlanteans died, and we from Lemuria died. So I don't know if Atlantis was created from a different species as the Lemuria. In Lemuria we had a lot of different type of aliens, let's say. The point is that when this happened, something a big like a nuclear war or bomb or something like that, for whatever reason that was created, right? And we died. Probably happened the same with the Atlantis. We literally lost our memory of who we are. We became just soul because the soul cannot die, but we had amnesia. And this is the hard part here, right? We had amnesia. We didn't remember who we are. We didn't remember where we must go, because at that point we had a right to go back home. Those that lost their homes could stay on earth, they could come back on earth. Though the rules here are different, right? Because they don't have bodies, so they had to reincarnate. But not having a memory of who we are, getting the amnesia, made us stay in the limbo. That is the spirit world, basically. In the nothingness, a realm that is for the earth souls. They, when die, must go there, wait for their families, that is their galactic family, to collect together, to make a new plan, to come back and reincarnate again and again and again and again. And we, because didn't know anything better, stayed there, and we took that as something that is our normality. And it took a very long time. Very long time. So we started incarnating as earth souls, not being earth souls. And here is coming the sad part, because my galactic family made everything possible. Alright, and many others from different dimensions, from different planets, made the same. They came to Earth to look for us, to try to get us back, right? And they were waiting for a long time, and they were waiting for us to incarnate. And after they was trying to be in contact with us, and after we died of old age without remembering, and after they waited again to incarnate and again to try to make us, all right, and try to recognize us and all of those things. So it was a very hard time for our families that were looking for us. My family was looking for me and my brother, all right, and many times we encounter each other until they just gave up, because at some point, I don't know when exactly this was, right, we met, and we treated them in a way that we shouldn't, and they really got very sad, and they said, okay, then that's it, we have to leave them be. Leave them be. Leave them remember themselves, because we tried so many times to remind them who they are, so they come home. But they are safe, they are okay. They will struggle, but that's fine. It is experience, it's their adventure. So let them be, and let's see when they will. And they're gone. And I believe this is the story of the most gods, that we have those stories for those deities and other deities. They were not deities per se, is the way how we perceive them, and that is very sad for them. Very sad, believe me, because there is no entity out of 3D that will say, oh yes, I am a god. No. This arrogance exists only here on earth. Yeah, it's very weird. We are very weird, because we don't remember. Then I believe at some point was that plan, right? Okay, let's start reminding them who they are, so they can go back home. And the both sides, the light and the dark, right, started working on that. The dark to push us to see the light, because without push from the dark we can't see it. We are prone to see only one side of the coin, and for whatever reason it's only the dark side. Like when we think about the past, more often we are thinking about the bad experience that we have, not the happy experience that we have. There is only one time when we must remember and only the good things, and this is when the person die, and we have or good or nothing to be said about that person. How stupid is that, right? But once we had a bad experience with somebody, every time when we go back, right, we are thinking about the bad things. How that person treated us, how cruel there was, or whatever, right? Nobody's thinking about the good things that they did. All of us are like that. I was doing that for a very, very long time. My ex-husband, for example, was the devil, only because he made something. We divorced, yes. And we are still good, very, very good friends. But it took me very long time to go back in the past and to see the good things that he did for me. What a perfect friend he was for me, how much he helped me, how much he cared about me. Because I was very small and he was older, right? So how many beautiful things he made for me. It took me very long time to realize it. No, I was, as every single normal person, stuck in what he did. So we divorced and I struggled and I was a single mother and so on. So the victimhood, right? The victimhood lives stronger in us. That is a bad thing. So this is what they decided, like, yes, the dark is going to push us so we can see the light. It is a way of learning, it is a way of experience for all of the souls, doesn't matter where they are coming from. The point is that actually we were weak and we couldn't fight the dark, and we kept it. And because the dark is more aggressive, more strong in a way, right? And for some reason we believe that we as humans, right, have to follow the same natural law. Only the strong survives, and the weak should not survive, will be killed, and so on. We took it really very literal. And the good in general is very soft and very tender and very, it is strong as well, but not with aggressivity, and aggressivity usually prevails. And we started from there, and we started collecting that dark and dark and dark, and hence the karma law was created, and reincarnate to remake the bad thing that you did before and make another karma. And this was so long cycle of this bad coming more stronger than the light. Not because the dark wanted, but this was the agreement. Again, I'm telling you, the light and the dark are working together in harmony. They are not enemies, they are not fighting. There is no war between the dark and the light on a grand scale. There is the war between the dark and the light in us, only in us, and what we are letting to win. That saying, which wolf you are feeding, the light wolf or the dark wolf, is absolutely correct. Yin and yang, to be in harmony. All the old wisdom teachings and knowledge leads to that, to balance the dark and the light inside, to balance the chakras, to balance the life, to balance everything. Really, and they are working together. They are two separate things, but one. Right? Makes sense. Like two polarities, but one thing creating. Yeah. So the human construct of bad and good exists. It is a good thing because we have to make a distinction. It's just we have to learn that we need to look at the both sides of the coin all the time, and the coin is spinning, so creating a ball, and we see the dark and the light changing like the seasons, like cycles, like all of this that teaching is talking about, for example. So, and this is the war, but in a grand scale in the universe, there is no war between the dark and the light, because they are working in harmony for the same goal that they have. Whatever is their goal, but it's one goal. It's not two different goals. We are the one that cannot fight the dark. And it keeps going through the dimensions as well, like till some point. After, there is nothing more. But there are still wars. On the fifth dimension, there is still wars coming and happening. On the seventh as well. Where was more? I don't remember. So you can see that, like, yeah. So are we good species, or we are bad species with all of these war traits, all of these weapons, all of this destruction, all of this power urge, all of this? Are we good? And why we are good, but Dracos, for example, are bad. They are bad from our perspective, right? But we believe that they are only bad. And yes, there are too many different Draco species, right? And some are absolutely benevolent, and some are not, right? But they are choosing what traits in themselves to follow. That's all. They are not still in balance. That's why I'm saying, don't look at the aliens as something that is absolutely, oh my God, angelic, right? A pure light. No, they are not. They have their balance as well inside. That's all, the balance, what they chose when they were evolving, in which way they evolved. Did they wanted to become only dark, or they wanted to become only light? The dark side will change, and as the dimension goes up and up and up, as less division is there between the dark and the light. And those high angels and demons, their job is actually to overlook those things. Is there a balance in the universe? More balance in the base, right? Division, balance division, right? More dark and more light. And as you go up, everything blends until it becomes nothing, and we all exist in the same way. What we are doing, again, I don't know. So this is the kind of the story of everything, with a lot of skips, of course, because I don't know a lot of things. It's beautiful. I mean, it made me calmer. It made me understand a lot more things. That figure here, that I also see it as a man. Of course, because of the teachings, I guess. He's not a man, he's not a woman, doesn't have a body. It's just energy, extremely intelligent, full with love, full with light, full with everything that you may want. It's really a father figure, if you want, or a mother figure, both, because it is a creator, so we are a piece of him or her, piece of them. And yes, we chose what to be when we've been born, right? Our soul doesn't have a gender per se, but he has a predominant energy, male or a female energy. So our higher self, that will be another conversation maybe about that, or maybe not, I don't know. The higher self may have a predominant energy, but the soul itself, right, being born as a woman the very first time, will be a woman. And that's why I call my soul being she, because the very first time when I became me is a woman, and now I'm a woman again. And I've been man in my past lives many times. So it's very interesting. But this is, yes, so don't be afraid from the dark. Don't blame dark for anything. They're there to make the balance. They're there to make you evolve. Accept your challenges as something that you have to think about and make a choice. It's not about following. And if you are following, right, then be aware that nobody made you follow the dark. It is your choice again. Unconscious or conscious, it doesn't really matter, but it is your choice. At some point we are going to speak about the archetypes, because they are important for understanding and for the shadow work. But the first step of the shadow work is to understand that everything is your choice. This is your free will that you used. Nobody made you. You may feel like a victim, right? But the victimhood is not what you need. You have to understand that you put yourself as a victim there. Again, with a distinction, I'm not talking about the pure horrible things, right? Those are out of my scope of working, absolutely. We are talking about some more normal traumas, right? That we love to call them traumas, but they should not be accepted as a trauma, so just as experience, and to get rid of them, to understand them, and to see our point inside, right? To learn to be really honest with each other and with ourselves. When you're looking into yourself, to be honest and to say, yes, I made a mistake and it was my choice. And then the things open up, and the world becomes brighter, and you become more stronger, more knowledgeable, with a healthy self-esteem. A healthy self-esteem is very important. There is nothing but in that to say to yourself, I don't know, I can learn, is the next sentence. Yes, nothing but in that. We can't know everything, right? Our even soul cannot know everything, because it didn't be everywhere, it didn't make everything, so it cannot be that knowledgeable. The omnipotence is only God, from the both sides though, right? From the both sides, absolutely. They are equals. They are not one is bigger than the other, or one is more important than the other. No, it's just that we all are coming from the light, because the dark cannot create matter, creates only energy. And this is very important to know as well. Lucifer doesn't exist. Devil doesn't exist. There is two creators, dark side creator and light side creator, because without the dark the light cannot exist, and without the light the dark doesn't exist. So they are together. Are they brothers? Are they the same thing, two sides? I don't know, but they are working in a harmony. Please, if you don't get anything else from that long conversation, at least accept that they are working for the same thing, to create a peace and harmony. And only happens we to be on that low level, the very first level of existence, and that everything is so strongly felt, and we created for one or another reason a lot of human constructs that are incorrect, but that are valid, absolutely valid, and should not be dismissed. here on this plane of existence. There will be a time where we will not need that punishment and good and evil and all of this, but this is on a higher level when we go to the 5D. Here on 3D we need that. We create our wars inside of us, not between us. We should not have wars between this and that country. It's enough the war that you should make inside of you, fighting off your bad traits and changing for the good and taking the light and paying attention to the light and healing and balancing and creating inside harmony, so the outside everything becomes harmony as well. Thank you so much for listening. Tomorrow I'm not streaming. It will be after tomorrow, when we are talking about the team bodies and the parasites. Yes, and I will show you how they look like. I will tell you to what outcomes led for those people. All right, and yes, be sure that and know that there is always a point when the dark presents themselves and say, are you going to do something about that? Or you're going to keep me? Like, tell me your decision. So we are going to talk about that after tomorrow. Thank you so much again for listening and for being with me. Stay safe and be in harmony.